You either get objectified or they don't even register you exist. I was at the pool the other day with my friend. We were sitting in the grass having a conversation, when a random man unexpectedly drops down in between us and says hello only to her, asking her name and saying how he noticed her tattoos. I really wanted to tell him off for being a rude interrupting jackass, but also didn't want to get stabbed later in the parking lot. So instead, I basically had to wave my hand in front of his face and say hi hello as well to take the attention off her. It was like he was surprised I was there. He was so focused on her. Thankfully he left after we didn't continue to engage. It's just so truly almost comical how men won't even perceive you if you're not their type of attractive. Nah, there is a third option for those of us who are very ugly. The being stared at everywhere you go and overhearing people say terrible things about you and straight up hate you enough to walk up to you and make sure they tell you how grotesque they think you are. Especially men think I need to know I'm a 2. I was leaving a club with my friends so many years ago when a guy walking in said hello or something to my friend. I was feeling good and knew my friend wouldn't respond to him, so I said hello. The guy said, "EW. Not you." Yup, that used to happen with me and my friends all the time. I stopped going places with them because I literally used to get pushed out the way. Tears of joy they left me. Somewhere once too. There was 5 of us and 5 guys. And my 4 friends left with the guys. I hadn't even realized because they made me go sit on a bench while they talked lol. Great times. This hurts me especially professionally, because both options are death for my career. Wait until you turn 50, it's like you don't exist at all. Completely invisible. It's insulting but also kind of nice. This was me in college. The girls in my friend group were stunning and I was just not. There were groups of guys who would hang with us and quite literally never acknowledged my existence. Would look straight through me or just not at all. All because I wasn't considered attractive to them. It was awful. And none of my friends ever have a shit. I've noticed that quite a few men do notice the women they don't deem fuckable. But they're angry at their existence. Short hair. Masculine style. Boobs and ass not big enough. Body hair. Too fat. It makes them angry these women exist as if our sole purpose is to be aesthetically pleasing to men. Very true. Being not so attractive. It has actually been helpful avoiding unwanted male attention and helps discern who is a decent person and who is not. Oh yay. It happens. I'm pretty while being very fat. I used to be approached to model when I was younger and people would take my picture a lot. So I get a very weird reaction from men like they are angry that I exist. I guess I confuse their peepees or something. I'll get this initial like whoa look from them. Then a deep furrowing of the brows and grimace. Like I just killed their cat. I'm like 60 pounds overweight. I'm invisible. And given all the stories of girls being harassed, I am glad I'm invisible. One of my favorite moments of this was a guy in his 20s on the subway. Ignores everyone of every age and gender until someone he deems a pit gets on. Suddenly, he can't wait to offer his seat, but only to someone fuckable face with rolling eyes. I really wanted to tell him off for being a rude interrupting jackass. But also didn't want to get stabbed later in the parking lot. This sums up the average woman's experience on this hell planet. A random guy came up and dropped down between us, interrupting our conversation entirely. Thing is so pervasive that I can totally picture the way it looked in my mind's eye. And it enrages me. This is an important conversation to have because too many men think women can just get it from anyone, whenever they want, and it's so easy for many. Ignoring the fact that quantity doesn't equal quality. So many women who don't fit a specific mold are ignored, cast out, or worse. I didn't know this happened to other people. Open mouth smile. The amount of times a guy has completely ignored me just to talk to my friend is astounding. Back when we were younger at bars and clubs, the guy would flat out insult me, like call me fat or ugly, and would go off with my friend. One guy once was dancing with my friend and literally pushed me onto the ground so he could dance with her and not me. When I was a teenager and went to church with one of my classmates who was very pretty and skinny. Lol. Let me say, room for Jesus was not on these church boys' minds. Coincidentally, that was one of those core memories and personal reasons why I don't go to church anymore. This is why I roll my eyes when men on the dating subs complain about women only dating Chad. They act as if they all have this moral high ground and are willing to date any woman who has a good soul, but they're exactly the same. If you aren't attractive to them, you don't exist. They too only focus on the most conventionally attractive and just like to pretend everyone else doesn't exist. Lol. If someone calls you ugly, respond with wow, your teeth are really yellow. It doesn't matter if it's true. It will drive them crazy. I struggle to feel grateful for this kinda shit like PPL say I should be. It's not fun to be constantly reminded that you're being judged lesser for something so arbitrary. And it stings to hear PPL talk about how safe you must be. Oh, if only I could be UGWY or gain weight UGUU. Nobody would harass me. Then they ignore when I point out weight sure didn't keep me safe. LMAO. It's just rehashed facts. Fuglies are untouchable because who would want to? And it's also not fucking true. Being desperate for basic fucking kindness made me a target multiple times. Screw M. Having hit a certain age, I am mostly invisible to men and I have never been happier. I spent years being treated as a public commodity due to an accident of birth in being born beautiful coupled with growing tall, leggy and shapely. You'd think I was living the dream, but I hated the scrutiny and pursuit. None of who I was or what I thought mattered in the least. So depersonalizing. Finally, with gray hair, wrinkles and zero desire to people please or tolerate nonsense. I am free. I notice this a lot when I'm with my more conventionally attractive friends at the bar. Guys will walk up to them and ask to buy them a drink. Talk to them for over 10 minutes, sometimes all while I'm just standing there awkwardly. Some of them at least say hello to me, but you can tell it's out of obligation. I had a best friend from kindergarten till 10th grade that was super skinny and petite and cute. I had a guy in my band class just randomly tell me one day, you know, your friend is way hotter than you. I'm masculine leaning, but I feel this way being on dating apps. Minus the perpetual my date might kill me fear. I quite like being ignored. I don't want to talk to them anyway. Ugh, I can totally relate. I was once at a bar with an acquaintance, not really a friend. Our husbands worked together and we were chatting. Dude comes up, stands in between us facing only her and starts to hit on her. He seemed extremely awkward. But really, no excuse. Thankfully she shut him down right away. But it's almost traumatic when this shit happens.